Okay, you're set. Can everyone online hear us?
And then to the south, to the east. General slopes.
Thank you.
It's just hard to imagine it's inefficient.
So you've got people online early, right?
Yes, and they said they can hear us.
Okay. One more second. No one about this room, but I can usually download
Yeah, bigger meeting space.
Okay, looks like everybody who found who wants seats found them. Is that right? Is there anybody who's you guys are happy back there? Great. So it's 7:02. Welcome to the Four Creeks Neighborhood Association general meeting for March 2026. We have a packed meeting this evening. We've got elections for our board. I love it. Elections for our board. We've got updates on the 179th improvement project from both WSDOT and the county. And then we also have Les McDonald is going to be here to talk about some projects in the area from the Regional Wastewater District. So we're going to move kind of quick if we can through stuff. Certainly at the beginning.
There we go.
Great. So our very first things that we need to do is introductions. My name is Andrew Checka. I am the president of the board for Four Creeks Neighborhood Association. Bob, would you introduce yourself?
Yes. I'm Bob Hybrid and I'm the current vice president.
Heidi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Heidi. I do land use.
And then Anne is around somewhere. Oh, there she is.
Hi, I'm Anne. I'm the secretary in Elder.
And then Steve is back there.
I'm Steve Dahlberg. I'm the liaison for the neighborhood to the fairgrounds and to the amphitheater and for the Ridgefield South extension to exit.
Thank you. So the first thing we do when we call this meeting to order is we approve our minutes from the last meeting. So the meeting from January, they have been posted on the website at fourcreeksna.org for probably a month, something like that. And can I get a motion to approve those?
So moved.
I make a motion to approve it.
So seconded, okay. All in favor of approving those minutes? That looks like approval, right? Slide, please. The meeting agenda tonight. Oh, I forgot to print them out for you guys. You can find it if you have service and you want to look at it at your desk at fourcreeksna.org. But I kind of already said it here. Elections, 179th Street, general updates, and then if we have time, we'll do a resident open house. But I suspect this time we won't. Do we have an officer liaison here?
Yes, we have Tim Bieber here.
Hi, Tim.
Hi there.
You want to introduce yourself? And if people have questions for Tim, you know, he'll probably be open to them, but let's try to keep it pertinent stuff and be quick.
Yeah, I'm Tim Bieber. I'm a commander at the Sheriff's Office. I work the night shift command position. I've been here 33 years. If you have questions, get to me before April 30th because I retire at April 30th. I'm on my way out. So, but yeah, I'll be available hopefully as long as nothing happens out on the road. I'll be here for the meeting.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, slide please. One more. So our treasurer report for today, this is what our account balance is, $438.83. Last thing we spent money on was our website hosting dues for $13.19. there, so treasury is looking good. I think we've got, slide please. I think we've got a slide ready for Heidi. Do you want to give your report? Yeah.
Sure. I'm gonna do this in 2 minutes, so I'm gonna move really fast. So Andrew asked me to do a quick update on what I'm doing relative to looking at traffic studies and things that are going on in the area with transportation. So next slide. We've gone through this a lot recently. These are all the intersections and roads that are going to be improved through the 179th project. And there are 2 that are not currently reasonably funded. The segment from 29th to 50th on 179th and the roundabout at 50th and 179. So next slide. So I looked at 7 transportation studies that are in here. I also looked at some that are up in Ridgefield just to see how the traffic's flowing down to this area. The city of Ridgefield traffic studies don't actually look at traffic impacts down to this area. But so what these 7 showed is that there are 17 road segments over capacity, 6 intersections that are either failing or over capacity, and all 7 of those studies showed that. The one thing that I wanted to mention is when I was looking at 4 of the 7, they didn't include each other. So 4 Creeks North, 3 Creeks East, 174th Street subdivision, and Tohi didn't include the other developments. So when you kind of look at the compounding impact of not having all the data, cumulatively, that picture changes. Okay. So these are all of the road segments that are above 0.9, which is the county's standard. So there are quite a few, and some of them are pretty significant. Next slide. These are the Salmon Creek areas. So I think everyone around here knows that to go shopping, to the grocery store or whatever, you go down to Salmon Creek to go to the grocery store, gas station or whatever. So I also looked at some of the roads there. And so there are 4 that I looked at that are at or above that 0.9. Next slide. So these are the 4 intersections. So they're mostly at either the interchange or around 50th that are, is there one before this?
There's another one.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so the order is a little bit different. So next slide. So these ones are above capacity, and the next slide has the ones that are failing. So anyway, so I'm looking at all this information. There's some opportunities to have further discussion. So I'm meeting with Jeremy and his team next week to just go through how this is impacting the community. So more to come. I'm also looking at the 20-year RTC model because it kind of compounds on that. So I'll be updating in the future. That's my update.
Very good.
Oh yeah, and so we got one more slide here.
Oh
right?
yeah, I
Yep.
said that up front.
Yep. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Steve, you want to? Oh, go ahead. Chuck, go ahead.
So I guess I feel a need to respond about the Ridgefield thing since you're rural. When you look at each of the studies, there should be trips that look called in process or previously approved developments that haven't been built yet. Then there's a background traffic growth. And that background traffic growth is added traffic that takes care of stuff that's coming from Ridgefield because it's just, there's just not enough under any single development pinpoint how much would come from that. But that background traffic growth, which should be in each one of those studies, should account for what's coming from Ridgefield or actually Battleground or other locations.
Thank you. Yeah, Steve.
Well, those 2 comments segue into this nicely. The exit 11 off I-5 going westbound towards Ridgefield. They finally got a contract signed in January, and and we showed a rough timeline before at that last visit. That timeline is throw it away. They're way behind schedule. They were hoping to be about halfway through their study by now, but I don't even know if they've had their first real meeting yet. They're still in preliminary kind of stuff. On the back table is this sheet. I don't know. Can you pull that up? Does that show Marilee? I don't know if you put it there.
I didn't. You just asked me
Okay.
to print it, so
Okay.
I wasn't sure if you wanted it.
So thank you for printing those, Marilee. Anyway, the first section on there is Ridgefield City Council and the Clark County Council work session was on March 16th. Hey, great, progress has been made. I called Kathleen Otto. I said, send me the information from that meeting. She said that meeting never occurred and it is currently not yet on the schedule. So again, not much progress being made there. But hopefully that will occur soon so that the city and the Ridgefield can be sort of the city of Ridgefield and the Clark County Council can sort of be on the same page as to what their goals are. Anything to comment there?
I'm learning about it here.
Okay. So that's where we stand now, and let you know. Hopefully they'll be able to appear at our next meeting since
Sure.
they plan to come to the Four Creeks Neighborhood Association in spring.
Mhm.
Well, spring after our next meeting, I don't think there will be any more meetings in spring. So hopefully they'll be here then. As for the amphitheater, someone mentioned they were hearing noise all the way as far as 179th and Northeast 29th Avenue. That's like 2 miles away. And I met with the traffic committee there, and they are going to start working on doing their sound checks and making sure that things don't get too loud. The second issue is at the last meeting, someone commented that the light fixture, portable light fixture was in the middle of the sidewalk here and it was causing people to either walk in the mud or into the street. Looks like they moved it off the sidewalk, so good, they did that. And then the next big request that we have of them is to put a sign at the corner of Delphel and 179th Street on how to get to the freeway, because once you get south of 179th Street on Delphel, you drive all the way to the.
You mean 199th, I think.
199th, thank you.
Yep.
199th and Delphel, because once you pass that, you get all the way down to the Chevron station, and if the state patrol is monitoring that intersection, you have to turn all the way back around, head north to 199th, cross over the freeway, and then go south on Northeast 11. So they said, yes, they said for sure they're putting a sign there. I'll see it when I believe it. So they were also going to put signs on Delphel at 184th, 189th, and 194th Street for the local people. If you have your hang tags, that will allow you to turn left. And I've gotten some comments from people saying, hey, that system really works. However, it only works for the shows that are not at capacity. If the state patrol there is monitoring the exits off the freeway, they will not allow you to take a left turn from Delphel onto 179th, and you'll have to make a huge detour. So as long as they're not at capacity, or as long as the state patrol is not monitoring the intersection, the fairgrounds or the amphitheater personnel will let you take a left-hand turn. Just take your hang tag and flash it at them. And I heard that they're very polite now, which is positive movement.
Mhm.
With regards to the fairgrounds, we also heard that there was a noise complaint there. I met with the CEO of the fairgrounds, and the noise was mostly during the big monster trucks and so on of the last 4 days or so of the fair. And the problem is the announcer has to talk over the roar of the trucks, and so it gets very loud. They are going to institute something where they don't have to announce the driver, the sponsor, the owner of the car, of all of those people want to be announced, and they're going to have a jumbotron or something similar where they'll be able to just visually have it there. So you won't have the announcers talking over the roar of the motors. For their regular concerts, it's usually not a problem because the announcer doesn't have to talk over the band. They're talking before the band comes on board. Any questions? Okay, more to follow next month.
Thank you.
Applause to these guys.
They do a ton of work. I just gotta say, it makes me so proud to see up here, like, you know, all that stuff you've done, all the meetings, all the, you know, boring reading and relationship building. I really appreciate it. So elections, next slide, please. I'm gonna move quickly through some information from our bylaws so everybody kind of understands. So all executive board roles are up for election annually. That is the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Next slide, please. I kind of just said this. Next slide, please. Any resident of Fort Creeks Neighborhood Association may nominate themselves or another resident tonight, right now. Okay. Next slide, please. By the way, anytime, not just right now. And nominees will have an opportunity to introduce themselves and provide a statement. The statement may include background information, why you're interested, all of that stuff. It's not required. Next slide, please. Voting is going to take place just with the folks in this room. We have folks online, but we don't have a way to actually do that. So just folks in this room by ballot. Everyone should have a stack of ballots kind of in the middle of your table there. If you don't have enough at your table, let us know. I will make sure you get some. Is that a question? Or you don't have a table? Yeah. You don't have, thank you. Right, we got a packed house. There should be enough. I printed 60, which is more than we've ever had at any meeting, and I don't think there's 60 of you. So, yes, great. Next slide, please. Okay, we're gonna finish up.
Is part B not?
Is she not on there?
You said it's.
Oh, you didn't say that on the screen still. I may have forgotten to update the slide. My apologies. She is running. We'll get to a slide that has everybody running in just a moment. So tonight we are gonna tally the votes. If for some reason we're not able to do that, we'll do it within 5 days of this evening, but we'll be able to do it. Next slide, please. These are the candidates that you should see on your ballots. So Andrew Cheka, that's me. I'm the president. I've been doing this for 2 years now. So this would be my 3rd year running for this role. And just a quick bit about me. I'm running the website. I'm running these meetings, trying to keep everything together and keep you guys involved and engaged. And that's most of what I do. I do enjoy it. I like keep doing it. Do we have anybody else who would like to nominate for president? Okay, we'll move faster. Our vice president, Bob Hyberg. Bob, do you want to say anything?
Oh, not really.
Okay, no worries. Ann is our secretary. Ann?
Last year, when I joined, Andrew was desperately looking just for a typist. So I took what I considered a typist role. So in looking at the bylaws, the secretary does a few more things. So I'm going to try to help out Andrew so he doesn't have to deal with.
And Ann has been very helpful. I'll throw my support behind you. And then Parveen, Adele, Parveen, I saw, oh, there you are. Did you want to say anything?
I am the CEO of High Performance Homes, and I'm just looking to contribute to our community. I'm really excited that there was an open role, so I'm here to serve you guys and be the best treasurer I can be for the Park Lakes Neighborhood Association. Thank you guys.
All right, I don't know what our next slide looks like, actually, I kind of forgot. Yeah, that's what I thought. So this is our chance to vote for those. So we don't have any other nominations, which means we could just vote as a slate. And we can just do it by hand. We want to do that. So all in favor of approving the 4 candidates for the board right now. And then, any opposed? No, okay, great. We did it. It should be. Okay, and so our next one was the 179th, right? Is that what I saw when you gave me a little sneak peek there? It is. And so, I don't know who we have first. If I have, looks like WSDOT.
Looks like we've got WSDOT at first.
Yep. So that's Sarah, great. Thank you.
Stand here. Wherever you're comfortable. Where he was standing is actually probably better because then the people on Zoom can see you.
Oh, yeah, my back's.
Cameras.
Yeah, if you stand
Oh, I
over,
see.
yeah, if you
How about over
stand
here?
there and talk, then people
Perfect.
can see you.
Okay, perfect.
Not in front of the microwave or microphone.
Well, hello, my name is Sarah Hannah 9. I work in communications for WSDOT Southwest Region. Our project engineer for this project is Laura Peterson. She's out of town this week, so she asked me to fill in. Thank you for inviting us to be here. We're really excited about this project. A little bit about myself. I work at WSDOT, but I was also born and raised in Clark County. My husband's a trooper. We used to work at the amphitheater as well, so pretty familiar with this area. And yeah, excited to talk to you about the 179th Street project. I'll go pretty quickly, and then we can do questions at the end.
That's great. I also wanted to let you know, we did all of our rushing. We did it. We rushed through all the stuff.
Oh, got it.
And so we have more time now, a little more time, so feel free to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No rush. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Anyway, so here's just a little bit of a project overview. Location, I'm assuming you are all familiar, located on I-5 at 179th Street at the north end of Vancouver, kind of transitioning into rural Clark County. We are aware of nearby events and destinations. One of the things that I wanted to highlight is Cascades Amphitheater. It used to be that concerts would happen kind of around the summer. We're noticing now that concerts are happening between May and October. So they're happening a lot longer now, a lot more often, a lot more frequently. And then yeah, this project is to support all corridor users. So it serves commuters, freight, businesses, event traffic, and local residents. So really, this project is a mobility project. That's probably the most important piece, as well as a safety project. So the goal of it is just to help move all people using this interchange as efficiently as possible. So the goal of the project is to improve safety and mobility at this interchange by replacing the 2 existing signals with roundabouts. We'll also be replacing the I-5 bridges and addressing fish passage barriers. This is again to enhance access for drivers, freight, and people. So how is this, gonna accomplish the safety and mobility piece? Roundabouts will reduce serious crashes and keep traffic moving smoothly through the interchange. New shared use paths and crossings will make it safer and easier for people to walk, bike, or roll through the area. Upgraded ramps, lighting, and signs improve overall safety and traffic flow. And then the other piece too that we want to touch base on is this area seeing rapid development, right? So the current interchange design, not only does it not accommodate current growth, but it will not accommodate future growth. And so that's really where the need of this project comes from. So the interchange improvements will support this growth by reducing congestion and improving access to I-5, but also improving the local traffic as well through the entire corridor. So really, that's where Clark County's project comes in play. The purpose of their project is to provide options for local residents to kind of get through that area, improve that movement within the area. And then we come in to help improve really regional traffic that's heading north to south. This is the project timeline. A couple ones that I want to highlight. In 2015, that's when the project was identified in the Connecting Washington funding package. When this funding was approved, it was approved to begin design in the 23-25 biennium. So that's where, you know, we wrapped up, we're in 2026 now. In 25 is when we were finally able to start preliminary design for this project. 2017, 2019, that's when we started our coordination with Clark County. And then in 2019, we received additional funding to do some corridor studies, traffic studies, and community engagement. So I believe it was, I think it was like 2019, we actually went to the Clark County Fair and received some really helpful feedback. 2024, we held an open house. Can I get a show of hands of anyone that attended that open house? Okay, we got some work to do. Good to know. And then now 2025, design phase starts. 2026, that's really the one I want you guys to focus on. At the end of this year, we're going to be hosting another open house. So more communication to come on that. That's when we're hoping to really have some good updates for you all. We'll be a little bit further in that design process. 28 project goes out for advertisement. 29 construction begins. 31 construction completes. Okay, and so we've been doing quite a bit of community engagement on this project, again, because we recognize how important it is to the community. So what we have heard so far through meetings we've attended, open houses we've hosted, and then also attending the Clark County Fair, safety and congestion are top priorities. Event traffic is a concern, keeping traffic flowing, and then also improving bike pedestrian access. So that's where those shared use paths are going to come into play. Minimizing construction impacts on businesses and neighborhoods. As we get closer to construction, we do plan on working really closely with businesses and neighborhoods to find out when's the most ideal time for us to be doing this work. We don't know that right now, right? Because we're in design. We also got a lot of information about vehicle sizes, vehicle types. We wanted to make sure that as we design these roundabouts, those roundabouts were going to be able to accommodate all types of vehicles. And then also travel patterns to help plan construction staging. So where we are now, we are refining the interchange design. Again, at the end of the year, you'll get a better idea of what that design is going to look like. Evaluating bike pedestrian facilities, and then coordinating with Clark County. And then what's next is complete design details and environmental review. I think I heard a question about noise levels. So noise levels and effects will be evaluated during that environmental review process. That is not yet begun. I'm not sure when that begins, but that's when we'll be able to evaluate that, and that's when we'll know more whether or not a sound wall is needed. And then develop construction staging and event plan, hold another open house, and continue coordinating with Clark County. And then this is just a really helpful map to give you guys an idea of how everything is interconnected and works together. So the big number one, all the red, that's our focus area. And then 2, 3, 4, that's kind of Clark County's area. We are aware of a couple of developer projects that are also planned. We don't have the timeline on that information yet. Hoping to learn more about those projects because they will kind of impact the work that we're doing. Again, the idea is to really reduce impacts and congestion as much as possible during construction for everyone. This is just a better look at our project concept. So you can see the 2 roundabouts here. All of the blue is the fish passage. Okay, and then project scope, it's kind of a lot, so I'll run through this kind of quickly. Roundabouts, removing signals, replacing them with roundabouts. Bridges, we're going to replace the 2 existing 3-span bridges with 2 2-span bridges. One span will cross 179th Street, and then the other will cross a new open channel. And then that channel is meant to improve fish passage. We're trying to remove any barriers, any identified barriers. I-5, we're going to raise it by approximately 4 to 5 feet. And then ramps will lengthen the southbound off ramp, modify ramps as needed, and install metering on the ramps as well. And then bike and pedestrian improvements, build the 2 shared use paths that I mentioned, as well as adding safe crossings of 79th Street at the on and off ramps within the interchange. Fish passage work, and then build drainage systems to manage runoff, add new traffic technology like signs, street lighting, and the meters, and then acquire property as needed to support project improvements. I think that there's some property still that we're working to acquire in order to accommodate the size of the roundabouts. Why roundabouts? I'm actually really passionate about roundabouts. I like them a lot. I know they're not everyone's favorite, but they do work. They keep traffic moving continuously with fewer long backups because you're not stopping like you would at a stop sign or a traditional intersection. They are proven to reduce crashes and injuries up to 75% fewer injuries because it's almost impossible to hit someone head on or even T-bone. Really, the only kind of crashes that we see happen in roundabouts are like fender benders. They handle all users, freight commuters, bikes, and pedestrians. And how do they handle freight, you may wonder? Trucks can navigate the roundabout by driving up on a truck apron. So it's a raised piece of pavement right here, but their back wheels can drive up around them, and that's how they get around the roundabout. And then lower long-term maintenance and costs. And then event traffic. So roundabouts handle event traffic more efficiently than signaled intersections, reducing the need for manual traffic control. So manual traffic control will still be needed at these intersections. It'll just delay the need of them, right? So they won't have to go out as early. It'll be delayed a little bit, still need it. This definitely isn't going, this design is definitely not going to make event traffic worse. It will improve it. I think something to keep in mind is event traffic, handling event traffic is always going to be challenging when you have thousands of people traveling to one space at the same time. So another thing that we're working on, or I guess I should say I am working on as a communicator, is as we are seeing these events happen, we're trying to stagger traffic. And so we're doing messaging, we're working really closely with the amphitheater to encourage folks to leave as early as possible. Again, to reduce that likelihood of everyone heading to the same place at the same time. Like, hey, go a little bit early, get yourself a drink, something like that. So by staggering it, paired up with the roundabouts, we're really hoping that we'll see a reduced congestion in the area.
Isn't it like 1 hour before the event is when they open? Or
Yes.
Yeah. So if you've got 18,000 people,
right,
and there's 1 hour.
90 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's 90 minutes. Yeah, and we're also, I know that the amphitheater is also working on modifying their event plan. I don't know what that looks like yet. We're also hoping to have them at the open house at the end of this year and hoping that they will have that event plan. I don't know if they'll have it finalized, but at least drafted. So you all can get a look at what they're planning on doing as well, in coordination kind of with the updated interchange and the corridor.
What about emergency vehicles going in as roundabouts?
They can navigate them just fine.
And I just want to jump in quick too and say, because we're talking about the 90 minutes, and that is one of the problems we have right now. We've received a lot of land use notices for development that's happening right in that area, and it looks like it's, you know, not a lot of it's. I shouldn't say a lot of it. Some of it for sure is like warehouses again, or like self-storage, and some of it is housing, which is great, but this is an amphitheater area. I think that it's going to be noisy for those folks to be able to travel all that stuff. What we'd really love to see is some place for people to come and hang out, right? If we're going to make this an urban area, which is what they're trying to do, right? It's not just housing in an amphitheater. There should be some bars, restaurants, retail, other things like that. So as we see this development happening, if you guys notice it, please go out to fourcreeksna.org, look at some of the land use notices, and think about what you might want there. And we should be prepared to let those folks know. Some of these will be phase 2 and 3 type developments where we'll have public hearings and they'll get comment and things to let them know that, you know, we would like some things to support this urban transition we're trying to do for us and not just, and for the amphitheater, I should say also, right, to have those folks to stagger that traffic. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
And I used to work at the Portland Trailblazers, and that was always our messaging, was come as early as possible. But we were set up in that way. So we did open 90 minutes early, but we have a restaurant there. There was other things to do in the area. So I think that's a great idea.
How do pedestrians navigate around about?
There will be crossings at 179th Street. I don't know why I keep I'm sorry, these are other roundabouts. There will be crossings across 179th Street and then a shared use. Can you go back to the design concept one, I think two more. Perfect. Okay. It's kind of hard to see, but basically there will be a shared use path coming along here. And then there will be safe crossings across, oh no, I think it's right here, across 179th Street.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it goes over the road?
Correct, yes. And I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be refuge islands, so folks aren't like crossing both lanes at the same time. There will be a refuge island, so you can kind of cross one lane, wait in the refuge island before safely crossing the rest of it, so.
But you're at grade with the traffic.
You were at grade with traffic, yes.
Question.
Yes.
Do you guys work with the artists that do like art inside the roundabouts?
That's a great question. I think that we've done things like that before and we've partnered with the city. So right now, actually out in Bingen, we are installing a roundabout with them, or out in the city of Bingen, and we worked with the city to figure out kind of what do you want to do with the center island, and we are installing a pond boat. And so historically it's a lumber town, and so the pond boats they use to pull the timber, and so they're having an artist come out and kind of like make the pond boat look nice. So I don't know, that's a great question. I can definitely ask Laura. Typically we work with the city or the county when deciding what to fill the median with.
Seeing that we have like thousands of people coming to see it, I think these could be really beautiful roundabouts that fit a lot for the city of Ridgefield. And it would be a great opportunity. And then maybe if they wanted to do something even music themed or something that would blend in with the amphitheater, I think there's a great opportunity there.
Yeah, so kind of similar to Battleground is seeing an increase of roundabouts, getting constructed in the area. And their city council created I don't think that this is what the actual title is, but it's sort of like a beautification committee. And the whole purpose of that committee is to decide what to do with these center islands of the roundabouts. So I think that would be something that maybe the county would have to do. I'm not quite sure. Maybe the county councilors. Okay, and then if everyone could pull up their phones really quick. I know. We're gonna just go ahead. If you go to your camera and you hover over this QR code, it will bring up a link and that'll take you to our project webpage. That has all of the updated information. It also has a link to sign up for email alerts. So as we get closer to that open house, we'll send everyone an email. We'll also be doing a mailer. So everyone that's within, I think it's like a 5-mile radius of the project location, you'll get a copy of the mailer inviting you to the open house. There's also contact information. So if you have any questions, I wasn't able to address tonight, feel free to reach out to that email and we're happy to answer those for you. Yeah.
You said under the bridges, you're going to replace 2 3-span bridges with 2-lane bridges. So what are with 2 2-span bridges?
Yeah.
So you're funneling our wonderful traffic from 3 lanes to 2 lanes? Am I interpreting? Am I reading that correctly?
Let me go back.
Just curious how well that's.
Yeah, so
replace. Will stay 3. What you'll see is fewer bridge piers. If you go to the interchange now, you'll see 2 piers, one for the approach from the north or from the south, then the bridge over 179th and another bridge that goes down to the north. Those are 3 spans. This one will only have like 1 pier with span on each side, a bridge on each side, but it's not going to reduce the number of lanes. It'll stay at least 3.
Yeah, thank you. You tell them I'm an
So
engineer.
it doesn't reduce the number.
It doesn't. Okay. And also what we're doing is passing underneath it. There's a photo, I think, at the end. One more, sorry. Perfect. This is going to get widened as well.
Gonna get what?
It's going to get widened, yeah. And so there'll be a little bit more space on either side of the roadway. Yeah. And so like these piers will get moved, and I think these ones as well. So yeah, basically that whole section will be wider
So
under
if you
there.
look to the left side, that's span 1, it's kind of off the picture. Span 2 is the one right in the middle there. Span 3 is the one that goes off to the right where it touches it down to the ground.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Yes.
So unfortunately for me, my house side yard is 179. So when you talk about shared, are you talking about a bike path, a pedestrian path, 2 roads, a median, 2 roads, a bike path, pedestrian path?
A shared use path is that can be shared by all different users.
So you can walk in it and ride your bike?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
And I will just, for time.
Yeah.
We're doing all right.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, my presentation's
Yeah,
done. We could do a couple more.
Oh, your
questions.
presentation is done?
My
Oh, great, great,
presentation's
great.
done.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yes.
So we see all the steps. Could you just say why it takes so long?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really long time.
Well, if you remember what I had mentioned, so when the funding was approved for this, it was approved, engineering was approved to begin in the 23-25 biennium. I think that's where, I mean, even I was confused by that, because you look at, okay, in 2015, funding was approved for this project. We could not start the design for it though until that 23-25 biennium, which we were able to finally do in 2025.
And it doesn't get finished though till 2031.
Correct. So we're in design right now, designing the interchange, designing the bridges, hoping to have that a little bit more finalized by the end of this year, which is what we'll present at the open house. And then after that, we are on track to go to advertisement in 2028.
What's advertisement?
That's when you basically post the project for bid.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So since it's been a little while and costs have been escalating, has there been any look recently at how solid the budget is and if any additional costs are going to escalate, and any thoughts on potentially slipping of the timeline?
So not at this time. Funding is still on track. Again, we'll know more when design is wrapped up. And then often too, when we do advertise the project, sometimes there could be cost increases during, material procurement, but we're a little bit of a ways off from that. But right now, everything's on track, going to add in 2028, and no changes with funding.
We have a question online of what % of the design is completed.
Oh, that's a great question. I'm so sorry, I don't know that. That would be a great question to ask our design team, and that email is on the project webpage. They would know the answer to that.
When you do your open house later this year, can you combine it with Clark County so they can be there to talk about the corridor?
Yes. Yep, we're gonna combine with Clark County, hoping to have the amphitheater there as well.
All right.
Yep.
That's
Yes.
a good tie-in.
At the,
I will let Steve ask his question and then we'll move on to our.
179th Street southbound on ramp. As you turn right, going southbound, every year there's 2 huge potholes that happen just on the right side of the white line. The WSDOT representative was at the amphitheater meeting last week with us.
Okay.
And he said, just keep calling in. Whenever there's a pothole, they'll come out and fill it, but the permanent fix won't be done for another 5 or 6 years until they work on this intersection. So
Potholes all over.
Yes and no. So potholes, we're only able to temporarily fill them during the
that's what
rainy
he
season.
said. It needs a whole new culvert and water diversion. So
Yes.
it's going to be an ongoing problem. Just call the number and they'll send someone out and fill the pothole.
Yep.
Related to that, he said, if you stay on the roadway, it won't be a problem because the pothole is on the shoulder. Unfortunately, that area does not have a white stripe. can you have someone come out and paint a white stripe there so that we know where the road is?
Yep,
Because we have a problem.
I'll send an
with
email
that.
to maintenance.
Can't stay on the road if you don't see it, they can't stay on the road.
And that's probably what makes it worse. So there's sort of a difference between a temporary repair, a permanent repair, and then a more permanent repair. So while we're in these rainy seasons, all that we're able to do is do a temporary repair. It's kind of difficult to cure concrete when it's rainy and cold, so we do something called a cold patch. During the summertime, you'll see maintenance will ramp up because we take advantage of that warm weather. So they're able to go out there and they'll use HMA, which is hot mix asphalt. And they're able to do a permanent repair, a better repair. But you're right, a more permanent repair will be when this project comes.
Right, so can you have them repaint the white line?
I'll certainly do my best. I'll send an email tomorrow. And that's where, you know, our maintenance crews are constantly reprioritizing. Unfortunately, they can't respond to everything, you know, all at once. Sometimes though, if I send an email, it might get done a little bit faster. And it's difficult too, because we have maintenance crews that can respond to things like potholes. So when you call, they can get out there pretty quickly. To get it striped, that requires striping through and that takes a little bit more time. So not sure on the timeline of that one, but I'll certainly send an email.
I had to replace my rim and tire from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'm not the only person.
You can also submit a claim for that.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. What was it actually? I'm gonna share this presentation just so everybody knows the whole
Yes.
PowerPoint after the meeting. You'll find it on our website. So
Okay, we got one more
info in
question
there.
though.
Oh.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
Is access from the 5 North exit to Northeast 10th Avenue being cut off with intersection design? It looks like the south end of Northeast 10th Avenue is turning into a cul-de-sac. Is that correct?
Looks that way. It's a good segue.
That's a great segue. That's for the county.
Yeah.
So we've got Dave Daly here from How It Works and Brian.
Okay, that's gonna be a curly question and we'll get into that next.
It'll be great support from the,
Access to.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks everybody for having me. My name's Dave Daly. I'm the Engineering and Construction Division Manager for Clark County Public Works. With me here tonight is Brian Muhu. Brian is our project manager for the 179th corridor project.
Fire stuff.
Okay.
Firemen.
And then also here tonight, Jeremy Provenzzola in the back. Jeremy's our county engineer, so got a few different folks here. If you have questions, as the evening winds down, happy to help answer any of those questions. I've got a few slides to go through tonight. I want to talk about kind of three things. One is the corridor projects. I don't intend to rehash history and what we're doing and why we're doing and all that. But I did want to just present a few updates on that. The second thing I'll go through with you is what we're doing at 179th and 29th with construction, what's going on over there. And then the third thing would be what's going on over at 50th, over on the other side. So we'll get into those three things and then I'll try to get through the content here quickly so we can just get questions going from y'all. First few slides, 179th corridor project. WSDOT just covered a lot of this, but here's just another map showing where we have projects. So everything you see in yellow is Clark County. That's our teams that are working on design and administering construction for those projects. Everything in red is WSDOT, the interchange area that we just talked about. You know, as you can see, we've got a variety of projects lined up, going all the way out to 2035. So potentially, we'll be spending a lot of time together for the next decade. Just real quick, going from right to left, of course, we have the Delfell roundabout and realignment just on the west side of the interchange. We've got the 15th Avenue realignment. So to answer that question that was just asked, 10th will become a cul-de-sac, but it's being realigned to 15th, as you can kind of see the sweeping curve up there at the top. So we're trying to get that 10th Avenue traffic and intersection away from the interchange because we need that space and it'll operate things a little bit better. So that's one of the projects. We've got the section of 179th from 15th to 26th. That's just some profile adjustment and widening that we're going to be doing in that area. Of course, we've got the roundabout at 29th, which we're building right now. Next section, 29th to 50th. You can see there 2031, though that's the further out we get, it starts to get a little more approximate. And then lastly, at the end here, over there at 50th, another roundabout. That one's quite a ways out from where we are today. So what are the next one? Question was asked from the board, are they connected? Projects on 179th, are they connected? The short answer is yes, they are connected. Separate timelines for construction, as I just described, but we work with them all together to make sure they're all going to fit and they're all going to work together, kind of like a giant Lego set. But yes, we do. They are connected, and then we do account for that when we're designing and building them.
I suspect maybe there was this little miscommunication there. I think the question they were shooting for was about timing. If I remember right. Yeah.
Okay.
If it's like, oh, okay, 179th is closed for me at 29th, but now it's open, and then the next day it's closed again.
Oh, got it.
Because
okay.
the new, yeah, I think so.
I have a slide that speaks to
okay,
that
great.
a little
Okay,
bit
great.
later, so we're gonna get right into that.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, we can keep going.
Somebody wants to know what the aqua blue color is for.
The aqua blue color, those are stormwater facilities. I'll say proposed stormwater facilities. So kind of where we have to put all the roadway runoff from these projects when we build them.
So the 50th, that blue area, which now just open land, is going to become a stormwater retention?
That's at 29th right there on this graphic. So, yeah,
29th.
sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I changed the
Okay,
map
I
on
buy
you.
that. Yeah.
First one was a lot bigger. This one
Yeah.
kind of shrinks
Okay.
down a little bit. So yeah, that's 29th.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Left, so.
I have a question.
Sure.
Why did they not just use large culverts instead of bridges there at 29?
It's a cost benefit calculation essentially. We, always want to try to look for the most cost effective solution that we can find, but also a solution that meets all of the regulatory requirements that we're obligated to meet. Fish passage is a very big consideration, and sometimes the demands of a fish passable creek crossing would demand a bridge instead of a culvert. So there's a few different things, also roadway profiles, all sorts of things that we try to account for in making that decision. Real quick, we talked to WSDOT earlier, but we're partnering with WSDOT on some of the work in the immediate area of the interchange. So the boxes in yellow are sections that we as the county have partnered with WSDOT for them to design in with the interchange project. It's just a little more efficient that way to have them tackle the design of all the little immediate roads around the interchange when they're designing the interchange. So just wanted to demonstrate, show this as kind of what we're partnering with WSDOT on for the interchange specifically.
How many rights do the fish have? Like how much protection do they actually get?
I don't know quite how to answer that besides saying like quite a bit. I think I'm not a biologist or the State Department of Ecology kind of dictates some of that and some of those rules. I'm in the position where we're just trying to deliver the project and meet the permitting requirements. So we'll kind of go ask them, is the creek crossing, is it fish passable? Is it what kind of fish? How many fish? Did it used to have fish in it? Answering those kinds of questions to help determine what level to which we would account for that or to accommodate that.
Do you know how many fish are there?
I don't know off the top of my head.
So there are a number of roundabouts that are kind of, proposed. One is right by where you have the gap section at 12, which there's supposed to be retail there at some point, and the folks who own the property say they're not going to do retail until the housing gets built out for understandable reasons. So when you're looking at these, there are also other roundabouts further down on, there's 8 on the design between the freeway and 50th and 5 on the other side. So 13 in total. So as you're thinking about those, where do the other roundabouts come into play? Like, when do they show up and how does that work?
Yeah, so the ones that we're showing, you know, we have the timeline on, those are capital projects that we're building, so we know that. The other ones come online as the surrounding area demands it. So like we said, housing comes in, development comes in. We work with developers on agreements to figure out that timing and to figure out who's building what. I don't have specific timelines that I could give you, but I would just say they come online as we see those developments coming in.
So on the one hand, I totally get that.
Yep.
On the other hand, we're talking about like, you know, already a timeline that includes 16 years of various forms of closures for utilities, tie-in work, and so as we're thinking about what the timeline actually is, if there's a bunch of other roundabouts that start dropping in after your 2035 timeline, like it'd be good to kind of understand what we're actually talking about.
Absolutely, yeah. We try to know where they're going to be so that when we're designing the connections, you know, the areas between our roundabouts, we know where things are going to land, so we can kind of plan for it. So it would help minimize those subsequent disruptions that, you know, would occur with development construction as well. So we try to do everything we can. We don't always have the crystal ball dialed in to know when things are going to happen. So that's part of the challenge, I guess.
So question online of, is there an opportunity to combine some of the immediately adjacent county interchange improvements with the state project to avoid conflict and save funds and time on multiple contracts?
Let's see, if I understand correctly, it sounds like partnering with the interchange.
That was already answered. I'm not sure. Then he says answered, thank you. I don't know if he was answering the fish question or.
Okay. I'm gonna keep rolling. I do want to get to what 29th. So
yes, thank you. I think we've had that question answered before, and they are working together to do that.
Okay. So next slide.
Yeah, let's keep going here. 179th, 29th. Just let you read what's up here. This is what the project's doing. We're building a big roundabout there, stormwater facility, 2 large bridges over the creek crossings. We're in construction right now. We anticipate to be in construction through spring 2027. So another year left. This is the year where we're hitting most of the work. The bridge work will start happening this summer. That's a huge part of the project. So that'll be a lot going on. Let's go to the next one.
Do pedestrians have a way to get around on that one?
Once it's built?
Yeah.
Yes.
Without getting into the roundabout?
Well, if you can kind of see on this image, this is the footprint approximately of what we're building. You can kind of see these little, they're hard to see, little white crossings right there on all 4 legs. Those are the not crosswalks, but those are how you would get across the legs of the roundabout if you're walking.
It's not over and above it.
Yep, at the same level. So, yeah.
Make a run.
The good news, like was mentioned earlier, the roundabouts, when you cross the different legs, you're actually crossing a shorter distance than you would be in a traditional intersection. So you cross one direction, you're only worried about one direction traffic. You get to the refuge island, and then you continue to cross for the other direction. So there's that opportunity.
Traditionally, there's a stop sign.
Not at a roundabout, but
right.
Yeah, you'll.
So I was the director, public works director for the Pioneer Widening Project in Ridgefield. And one of the things we added to the big roundabouts were, they call them rectangular rapid flashing beacons, or RRFB, those ones you press the button. If you look at 56, and then the new one at Discovery Drive, and then the one at Royal Road, each one of those has flashing lights that the pedestrian
pushes to get some added visibility when they're using the crosswalk. Will these roundabouts have those?
Not this one, at least not initially. That's always something we could look at later. We build them, it'll eventually be a double lane, big roundabout. Initially, it's gonna be striped, so it'll be built to that full size, but striped and tightened up because it doesn't need to be that big yet. So that may be something that we consider in the future when it expands, but I am familiar with those RFPs at roundabouts, so they work well. Yeah.
Is there usually a step down in the speed limit as you approach the roundabout?
Roundabouts by nature are designed to accommodate traffic at 20 to 25 miles an hour. So even the big double lane ones, that's kind of part of their purpose, is to be continuous flow, but slower flow. So you could expect to see speeds on the road between roundabouts, maybe 30, 35 miles an hour, but then those would taper down to 20, 25 miles an hour to actually navigate the roundabout. So
Coming into the roundabouts now, is it 4 lanes of traffic now, or 2, maybe 2 and then added later?
It will be built to accommodate 4, but in the near term, it will be striped and have kind of an interim setup to have just single lane in and out.
And 179 being there and I-5, is that going to be during this one 2 lanes like now, just wider, or 4 lane?
Eventually, it'll be built to the full 5 lane section, so 2 lanes and then the center median area. But initially striped down you can kind of tell if you drive around where the curb lines are for development. They're pushed kind of way back from where you're in the middle. That's a good idea of kind of where things will be when we're all done out there. Yep.
Is the project on schedule?
We are on schedule right now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So just kind of one of those practical questions. So 179th at night is dark, right? It's a rural road, no street lights. So are we gonna have this is a mile from the freeway, dark road for a mile, and then a well-lit roundabout, and then dark road? Is that what is gonna happen?
It's a good question. Brian, do you know what we're doing with the lighting around the roundabout?
Yeah, as I understand it, the roundabouts will be lit, but the gaps in between them, I don't believe we'll have specific lighting for that, which is a pretty typical roundabout lit, but the sections.
We would usually light an intersection no matter what, but not necessarily the segment in between. That said, we do a lot of photometric analysis, so we know that we're not getting huge contrasts in dark to light, and trying to ease that transition as you're driving and letting driver's eyes kind of adjust.
So when you come out of 26, there'll be new lighting there, and you'll get across to go west on 179.
We will have like street lighting, not like traffic signals, but street lights like we see around any areas of the county.
School is no longer planned at that intersection.
No, they did a property swap. It's gonna be where the new 10th realignment connects. There'll be the middle school and the elementary right there.
This is just to show you kind of the scale of what's happening. The black lines are to scale where the road is today. So as you can see, we've got quite a bigger footprint at the intersection than we do currently with the 2-lane road intersecting. Let's keep going. Construction, as you all I'm sure are aware, right now the north leg and the east leg are closed. We've got our contractors working to do the widening area. We've got a lot of retaining wall work coming up in the next few weeks. So you'll start seeing some things changing out there more and more. Currently the movement from the east leg to the west leg to the south leg is open, it's available right now. That condition will be like that until late May or June, and I'll get into what transition is gonna look like here in just a second. Keep going. Why is the road closed if it looks like I can go through? We get this question a lot, and there's a few reasons. The main reason, kind of the more obvious one, is safety. It's an active work site, even though active maybe in quotes. What that means though is that we have hidden hazards potentially in certain areas. We have equipment on the side of the road. We have materials on the side of the road. We carve away at the side of the road, so we have unsafe shoulders, that sort of thing. So we really, even though the pavement's still there, the area around there can be deceiving sometimes. The other thing is communication. We spend a lot of time working with all of our partners at Cressa and the school districts and with the sheriff's office and with mail delivery and garbage pickup. When we change things, all that gets crazy. And so for us to be able to consistently work with them and tell them, here's how it's going to be and how long it's going to be. So even if our contractors, their timelines adjust a little bit, they get, a sub that doesn't show up 1 week or something. We don't always want to go undoing things just because we want reliability. We want what we say we're going to be and what it's going to be like to be what you all expect when you're out there driving. So, and then lastly, contractor access. This time of year, it's muddy. It's far more beneficial to leave the pavement in place and let the contractor get in and out with minimal dirt tracking as opposed to if the job site were just 100% mud. So, next stage, summer 2026, you're going to see the west leg close and the south leg close. So basically the opposite of what you have now. This is the big one because this is where we're pulling out the culverts and we're starting the bridge construction. So we have to wait until summertime when we have less water in the creeks to be able to get in there and do all of our work. And so it's a big one.
Where's that red X on the left?
I was just showing where it's closed.
I know, where is that?
This is 179th.
Yep.
This is the west leg. So if you go this way, you're heading towards the interchange.
I know, I'm just asking the cross street. I live
26,
between the two.
Yeah, I think 26th, right?
26.
Yeah,
Will that be closed?
that's 26.
Okay, thank you.
What I will say is where we say closed, we maintain local access. So anybody who lives, especially immediately in the vicinity of the interchange, we always try to make sure, we make sure that they are able to get to and from their houses when they're right in there.
So with this plan at end of summer or midsummer, the access from 50th will be all the way to 29th now? You'll reopen that? Because it's closed at 50th, you cannot go on 179th Street.
Yes, let me get to that because there's a reason the timing worked out this way because of the 50th closure. So if we go to the next slide, 50th Avenue sewer work, there's a closure on 50th right now that I'm sure you all
started on the 8th. And
Yep.
Yeah.
We worked with the developer, so that's a developer project. They're building that. That's not the county building it, but we work closely with them to try to manage the situation as best we can. We tried to get the timing to work out where their closure happens when we still have some north-south connectivity on 29th, like we do today. That turning movement that I showed earlier. Not full movement, I understand, but trying to at least open up as much north-south connectivity as we can in that immediate area. So when we go flip over our next stage this summer for the bridges, it'll be close to when they're done and can open 50.
So you're saying that Mount Vista logistics project is going to have 50th closed for 80 days?
Yep, 80 days.
That's why I've got to answer it. Okay.
What are those trucks Where are those trucks gonna go?
Yeah.
I
So,
don't
I was
know
gonna say,
about that.
we just have a couple more minutes for Dave, and he's got a few slides left. I don't
Just a
know
few
how
things,
critical it is.
I won't get into what's 50th,
Okay.
we'll keep rolling here to the
Yeah.
next one. What they are building is a 25-foot deep sewer, so it's pretty darn big, which is why it necessitates the closure. It's hard to do that work under traffic. So just the scale of what's going on there is pretty big. Go to the next one. A couple photos of just what it looks like right now. This is probably about half the depth that you're seeing in that trench box, so it's down there a long ways. Keep
Who's the
going.
contractor for that?
It's Rachi.
They've had problems in the past with their deadmans and so on. What safety measures are being taken?
I mean, I think you're seeing some of it right there, but it's, again, we didn't hire them. The private developers hire them, so we do what we can with our inspectors out there to make sure that they're following safety procedures, doing what L&I expects them to do. I think you saw some of the trench boxes and things that they're working in right now. So I'm aware of, their recent history.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How deep is that? How deep is that? The deepest point?
25 feet.
Okay. So
Are they pumping water like they did on that near 29-foot section on 50th and 179th Street, or 179 or 159th Street when they put in DSHS?
I'm sorry, what was it?
When they put the DSHS building, they had to put sewer there for that. And they went 29 feet. They were pumping water out of the ground to do it because it was the time of year. Are they doing that there?
I imagine they are. I'm not certain on that though.
Sure, you guys are keeping track of that.
Yeah, it's, you go that deep, you're gonna get water usually. This is high level map, just where the projects are, where the closures, what some alternate routes look like. Northeast 72nd, 99th, even all the way up to 503 are your best bets for alternate routes to kind of navigate this area. So let's keep going. Thank you. That's what I've got.
Are you going to leave the temporary stoplight in at 72nd and 159th for how long?
That's in there for the 50th closure. That's a condition of that closure. So it'll be in there as long as that closure is in place, and then come out when they're done.
And then how far away would you guys guesstimate of getting some sort of traffic control on 72nd? Because there's a lot of, they've had to cut people out of cars in the last couple of weeks there.
Yeah, I don't know if we have, I'm not aware of a capital project we have for any type of signal or anything there, but that might be a question for our traffic or transportation folks to see if we have anything.
Could you explain why there isn't going to be a roundabout at 50th when we've got a big sewer going through there and that big warehousey thing that's been built?
At 179th and 50th?
Yeah.
There will eventually.
No, but are those trucks gonna be running into that? 50th to
We
get
did
there?
a project there to widen it out a little bit to buy some time. But we do have a larger project slated for that intersection in the future. So we're trying to get after it as fast as we can.
So those big trucks are gonna be coming up there and turning into the freeway. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's a tough left turn.
Yeah, that is a tough, tight intersection. So, I'm not sure what's gonna happen with the logistics center right there. I know we do have a project long-term for that intersection, but it's 2035, I think we'll get to it. I have QR codes for project information. I'll leave a couple of these here. I have my card. Another flyer just to talk about other things on the corridor, but I'm sure we've spent a lot of time on it.
Oh, yeah, all good. I'm gonna post this presentation on our website, and then I have contact information. And is it in the presentation?
It is. If you go to the next slide,
Okay.
I put
so that
all of our people.
Beautiful.
This is me. These are our construction guys, and then Brian.
So that'll all be available.
And then if you go to the next one, we have an information page for the corridor, and then we also have an information page on the next slide for the construction project.
Great.
So lots of information on our website. So
thank you. I want to make sure we get to Les tonight, who's been patiently waiting. And so thanks for the questions. Thanks for the presentation, guys.
here.
Welcome. Can we go forward 2 slides? I want to check something.
That one?
Perfect. Okay. So you can go ahead and back up 1. So I'm Les McDonald. I'm the Planning and Development Program Manager for Clark Regional Wastewater District. First off, I'm going to tell you this handout that you have right here. The first page is great. That's what you're going to see tonight. Every page after that is from the presentation 2 years ago. So you can disregard what's in the back of this past the first page. What you'll see up here is current. Okay. So I'm here to talk a little bit, back up 1, please, about what's going on in the 179th and Northeast 50th corridors related to sewer work that is overseen to a large extent by Clark Regional Wastewater District. So this map shows from I-5 to the east, and I apologize, I did not extend west because I know there are a couple of projects to the west that are starting to wake up a little bit, but my focus was frankly primarily to the east. What this shows in the green areas are projects where there's something actively happening. So that could be that they have come into us and say, hey, we want to build something. We're ready to start submitting plans and get permits. They could actually have plan approval already, or they could be in construction already or nearing the end of construction. So somewhere in that timeline of, hey, we want to start a job, really want to start a job, to it's done. The areas in blue are properties that have not reached that stage yet. We've just generally seen a level of interest from either the property owners or maybe somebody that wants to buy a piece of property and is thinking about developing it. Some of this comes through the county. Some of it comes through our own utility review process where people come in and say, hey, I want to get sewer. How do I do that? So we have a process where we say, okay, officially, here's how you can get sewer. So those are in blue or maybe in those more early stages. They haven't actually come to us for permits with specific projects yet. So we'll focus on the green ones today, just talking about what's actively happening. So you can see a list of the project names across the bottom. They correspond to the numbers in each of the project boundaries in green. And we'll zoom in on these as we go through and we'll talk about some of them more specifically. While we're on this screen, though, I do want to mention the Three Creeks East annexations. That's this orange hatch that you see up here, just left and center. When we say an annexation, we're talking about annexing property into the district's service boundary, which is a little different than like annexation into a city or something like that. So this is just purely an annexation into the area that the district serves within an urban growth area. Right, so right now, some of our boundaries, our service boundary and the urban growth boundary don't necessarily match everywhere. We just haven't expanded quite that far. So what happens when that's the case and somebody wants to get service, like these 2 parcels were interested, they come to us and say, hey, we'd like to annex into the service area because we're planning to do some development in the future, or we just want sewer for the house, whatever it may be. And so we go through an annexation process at the district that our board approves. And then it's handed off to the county council, and they then ultimately approve that annexation. So that's what that's showing. That's the only place right now where we have an annexation request ongoing, and it actually just finished the process with the county council this week, I think it was. Tuesday, yeah, just wrapped up. Okay, let's go to the next slide, and we'll zoom in a bit. So this is the area around 179th and I-5. We've been talking about a lot tonight. Some changes that have happened here. There was a slight reference to it earlier about schools. So somebody asked the question about the school going in out on 29th. That is no longer what's happening. And what is happening now is the Ridgefield School District has acquired this piece of property up here for the middle school. Previously, that was going to be a subdivision. And there was some land swapping and trades amongst a bunch of different players. And in the end, what we're looking at now is north of that area. That is the 15th Avenue alignment that we've been talking about. So that sweeping S-curve is all school district owned property. So our understanding, and we haven't seen any plans or any concepts yet, but our understanding is that they plan to build both a middle school and an elementary school there in the future. Time yet to be determined. I'm sure the first one will probably be in middle school, and then there's going to be a bond issue that they'll have to address. Pretty standard for schools. Immediately south of that is the Three Creeks North Apartments. That is the remaining, if you will, private development portion of what was Three Creeks North overall concept years ago. That's still out there. And the Three Creeks North apartment complex We're in discussions right now with them about their schedule, how exactly they get service, because things are changing a little bit, like by the week right now, based on what the county's doing with 15th and maybe some different changes in our sewer alignments. We've been coordinating with the county about that and how we serve these apartments and what their timing is. So we don't know yet if they're going to go before the county does the 15th Avenue extension in 2029, or if they're going to be after. And it's going to make a difference on how the sewer works out, but ultimately their plan is to put an apartment complex in that location. I will mention it's not on the map, but there is a companion development called Three Creeks South, which is this area south of 179. So a large number of these parcels south of there are owned by the same folks. And that is an area that's slated for commercial type development. So as you talk about, are there things that can happen in the area for folks that are coming early to events or things like that? Over time, that area will likely develop into more commercial activities, you know, in whatever form that is, shopping, restaurants, you know, services of different types. That's further out in the future. They've been sitting on that piece of ground for a long time. We'll see. We'll see. Immediately east of the school site is the Three Creeks East subdivision. This is the development that actually spurred that annexation that we touched on a minute ago. And that easterly parcel there, just kind of east of the label, that's one of those two pieces of ground that was being annexed into the district. So that's a residential subdivision that is planned. They have been going through the county process, and I think they're hoping to get started yet this year or next year. Not entirely sure on their schedule. The South Ridge Apartments Phase 3 is out there a few years yet. It would be the third of those apartment complexes. There's one on either side of it. Well, one's not adjacent to the west and the one's a little bit further east. But same developer, all three apartment complexes. So that would be the next one, the Phase 3 that would be coming through. Okay. And if you were, those who were here 2 years ago, and we last had this conversation, we were on the verge of starting, I say we, the developers, and in this case, Ridgefield School District, was on the verge of starting some of their work in 179th, along with the subdivision out there that built a pump station and a force main. That force main discharges, that's the Whipple Creek East Pump Station F, lovely names. It discharges right here. So that was a project we talked about a couple of years ago. That's built, it's ready to go. It's operational. We just need flow to come into it. But that's where that comes out. So yeah, let's go on to the next slide. And this, you'll see this approach as we work our way through. I've just drawn these big circles in here, and they're color coded a bit to represent who's working on things. But projects that are in red circles like this, these are county related projects. So you just heard the discussion about that, the work that's going on, you know, Delfell, and you know, basically both sides of the freeway project, the work from 15th off to the east to 26th, and then the 15th realignment. So these just represent the county's work, and I wasn't aware if the county was going to be here or not for this. That's why I threw these in just for reference, but we can move on. Okay, continuing on to the east, now we're at the 179th and 29th Avenue intersection where the roundabout project is underway right now, we just heard about. To the north of that, on the northwest, you see Anderson Dental. So that's a new dentist office that's going in there. They're going to be working within the existing building right now, and could be some additional building in the future, but for the moment, I think they're working with the current structures. We've approved plans for that on the sewer side, so I would expect something to come along before too long, get that in place.
So that's the house that's there?
Yes. Immediately north of that is the Fork Creeks South subdivision, which is a project that's underway. That was the old Ridgefield School District Middle School site. We were talking here a couple of years ago. That's where that kind of that land swap happened that I mentioned earlier. So subdivision project going in there, and then the same developer has a project to the north of that called Four Creeks North subdivision. I literally approved the plans for that today for the new sewer. They will be extending sewer on through there, kind of like is represented with that purple line. So another residential subdivision on 29th Avenue. Okay, the 179th trunk, everybody's favorite project, all that mess that was going on out there the last couple of years. putting that deep sewer line and the road closures and openings and all the rest of it with that. That work's all done. So that's what's shown here in the red is essentially that 179th trunk line was built along with this Whipple Creek East pump station, and the green dash line represents that force main. That's all done, in place and operational. So we're happy for that. That pump station was built within the Mill Creek Terrace subdivision, another project that's been underway for a bit. I'm sure you've all seen it out there, a residential property. South of that is the Cozy Manor Estates subdivision, same developer who built Mill Creek Terrace. That one is not underway yet. In fact, I don't think we've even seen sewer plans on it yet. I know they're working their way through the county land use process. So I'd expect that one to become active probably next year, I would guess. But I don't have a set schedule for them at this point. To the north, Mountain View Ridge subdivision. That was out there sort of by itself. And because of that, they have to do something a little different to get sewer service. So they were building what we call an interim pump station, an IPS. And it's interim because it will only be there until such time as the gravity system eventually makes it to their doorstep. And then they'll turn that pump station off and just blow down the gravity system. Everything out here will go to pump station F, the Creek East pump station F, eventually. But in the meantime, they build that interim pump station up there in that purple star. And then there's a pressure pipe that comes out of that pump station. It's represented by the dashed purple line. That runs down 29th Avenue. And they just finished installing that here in the last few weeks, I believe. So you've probably seen work along the east side of the roadway in that area. And then that Mountain View Ridge subdivision project should get started probably yet this year, but possibly next year. They're going to do 2 phases. I think they'll start in the west, first phase, and then maybe a later year do the east half. Pardon? About 5 minutes? Okay, we're going to pick it up. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. And then again, this represents the red circles are the county's related projects. The green circle is the force main installation we just talked about. And back one again. One other in there is the Cozy Manor State subdivision will eventually be installing additional sewer main in 179th along their frontage to make sure they can serve properties north and south over to the BPA corridor. Okay, next slide. All right, moving on to the east. So we skip past the BPA corridor, see Ramble Creek subdivision number 7 right here. The latest of a string of subdivisions for Ramble Creek. That one has been approved for us, and that is the subdivision for which the work was done in 179th also last summer. And so that's that green line that you see there that runs to the east. So as that subdivision's on its way, there will be a phase 8 up in the northeast corner. That's our last phase. That one is in plan review with us right now, so we don't have approval for sewer yet. And then phase 5 is another piece there as part of that overall Ramble Creek development.
Are you also doing this like Mountain Estate cluster on the east side of 50th? That's just like a little bit north.
That is outside the urban growth area and outside of our service.
So why did they build it?
There must be on septic, so they're not working with us.
Maybe it was water that they took up. They kind of
That's
like
possible.
up the road.
Yeah, very possible because they can provide water out.
So if that one on 50th that's outside the urban growth boundary, does that limit the one house for 5 acres?
It just depends on the zoning that's in place on the particular parcel. And it varies across the county.
They went up to Superior Court on that issue. Which is how they got subdivided.
So again, developer projects shown at the green circles, and we can go ahead and step into the next slide. So this kind of goes around the corner. Now we're on Northeast 50th, so a little bit south of 179th, which is right at the top of the screen. You can see Ramble Phase 7 up there. And these are, I guess, the more recent activities that are starting to happen. So the Mount Vista Logistic Warehouse there on the right, that's the big one. That's the one we just talked about. We saw some great pictures of the installation of that sewer going in. that sewer is being installed along the entire frontage of the Mount Vista Warehouse project. So from south end to north end is shown here in purple, and actually just a little bit north to where it will tie into that Whipple Creek East. Ooh, that is the wrong title. Sorry, that is actually the Pleasant Valley North Pump Station. C. Love the names. We call it the Beers Pump Station. All right. So the Beers Pump Station would be a new station built there where that purple star is located, and that's where the Mount Vista project is headed. So they're going to be tying into that. They're also going to be the ones building that. So that will start this summer. To the west of that is the Beers subdivision, and we're in the middle of plan review with them right now. It's been a long road for them, working with the county and lots of issues regarding that, or surrounding that, I should say. But we're in the middle of plan reviews with them, and that's thus the name of the Beers pump station is that Beers subdivision. So it will provide a route for sewer from the pump station to those properties to the west and north, which include the 174th Street subdivision, which is pretty early in the process. We've not seen plans for it yet. I know they're working their way through the county. We've had some initial discussions about sewer service, and the Mill Creek Meadows subdivision, whose first submittal just came to me this week, actually. So we're just starting to look at Mill Creek Meadows sewer plans for permitting. And one more slide. So again, developer installed projects, obviously on 50th, that was discussed with the county's presentation, and there will be work on 174th associated with both or either the 174th subdivision and the Mill Creek Meadows subdivision. So some improvements up there. Okay, that's a quick run through. So there's a lot to cover. Questions?
I don't want to keep you busy. I want to tell me who I talked to after the meeting. Sound wall, garbage, land encroachment deadline date, buffer of trees across the street, and sewer. I'm on 179.
Okay, I can say none of those are sewer district related.
Okay.
All right, so probably the county would be the best.
Is there somebody here that
talk
can
with.
answer those questions
Folks
tonight?
that, there's some folks here I think would be willing to chat with you about those types of things related to the road improvements on 179.
Right, I just wondered who that person might be. So.
Thank you. I'll talk to you.
Okay, thank you.
There's several records. Yes, sir.
I got a question I've always wondered. Where is all this sewage end up?
Well, eventually the Columbia River, but in the meantime, it gets piped and pumped a long ways and ends up at the Salmon Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant, which is on Salmon Creek down near Lake River. So just kind of out in that, I guess that's the Hawaiian area, out in that area.
Another quick one. I'm on 179 here where you got, says WCE PSF Horse Main from the sewer. It's right in front of my house. So just put that pipe. Can I attach my house to that sewer?
Is that force main? No, it's a pressurized line. And,
I can't hook up to that.
It might flow the wrong way.
Sewer system.
There are gravity systems that are either in place in certain sections or going in place in other sections. So all these county road projects have a sewer component included within them. So we team with the county on a lot of projects. And all the way along 179, if sewer doesn't already exist, it's being incorporated into the county's road projects to be installed at that time. That way they don't come in after the fact, right? So as those projects advance, sewer will be installed. Now, the caveat of all that is if developers show up sooner, as was the case like with the 179th trunk in the Ridgefield School District, they could be installed before the county gets there. So that would get you sewer sooner, but that takes a developer to do that. But it needs to be a gravity system, not a pressure system.
Are the updated slides online?
Well, they're in this presentation, so if they post this, you'll have it, right? Yep. For whatever reason, the paper version just had it.
Okay.
And this was just here in case people had an interest. This is the urban holding area that was lifted 6-7 years ago now. That was part of what kind of opened up development in this region of the county. So it was just really there more for reference. You want to go back to the very first overview slide if there's any more questions. Other questions? Anything sewer related I can answer, I hope? Yes, sir, Matt.
The county's
considering densifying this northern section of the county with more of the dense zoning.
Land use comprehensive plan. That's
Do you
correct.
have an opportunity to assess that with your capacity?
We do assess that. We work directly with the county on, and we're following their process and have regular meetings with the county. Part of our work, we're also doing an update to our general sewer plan, which we do in conjunction with what the county does every 10 years. And so as part of our work, we're looking at, okay, if we add density, whether it's upzoning, increased zone, number of units per house or per acre, or the addition of accessory dwelling units, because you can now do 2 of those per lot, right? So that's something that wasn't envisioned decades ago. What does all that mean? Well, generally speaking, our systems are large enough that it really doesn't have any fire. Occasionally, you might run into a pump station where we might need to upsize the pump a little sooner. But other than that, we're not seeing any concerns. There's another question. Yeah.
On this picture.
Yes.
Right on the bottom corner of that white, which, the little blue area.
Yes.
Yes. No, the blue area over here, northeast 47, down there.
Oh, clear over here. 47?
47. It's just right below 179 and 47, yes.
Well, 34.
Now,
Okay.
I think that's where I live.
No, it isn't, honey.
It's 34.
That's 34.
Where we live.
34.
Well, it says 179, and it's just right below that on 47.
47 isn't.
We're northwest of 14.
This is 34th. This is 37th. And points.
Okay.
So.
That's not where I live.
Okay, so I have a question from online. If there is a proposed development going in next to my property, am I able to connect to it? Where do I go to find out how? And if I can, this particular development is between 179th and 184th.
This will be our last question.
Near 11th Avenue, west of I-5.
You're northwest 11th. Okay. Yes, there is a project out there. And the best thing would be to contact the sewer district. They can reach out to me directly if you'd like. And the folks here have my contact information, so they can share that.
Yep, we can.
And for those in the audience, I have some of my cards on the back table. If you care to pick one up on your way out, and feel free to reach out to me, phone or email, either one. And I can get you pointed in the right direction or hopefully answer questions.
There's cards.
There's cards in the back.
There's cards in the back table.
I want to type it in here though for the personal email.
I don't have it.
Okay.
Thank you, Les.
Thank you. I can't believe it's only 8:37.
We went through all of it. Good questions tonight. Thank you to all of our guests, Sarah, Dave, Brian, and Les. You guys did great. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Gotta
Make
get
a
that
motion.
seconded right
I second
there.
it.
All in favor of adjourning?
Yeah.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.